All right, we're going to get started. Thanks again, everyone, for joining the webinar tonight about our new program experiences for the summer of 2019 here at Rustic Pathways. Hope everyone's having a great night in their respective parts of the United States or part of the world, and we appreciate you spending the time with us this evening. I want to first start off by introducing myself. My name is Brent Watkins, and I'm the Vice President of Program Operations here at Rustic Pathways. It's my job at Rustic to ensure we have amazing and transformational program experiences for all of the students that travel with us. I manage the team that designs all of our programs globally, and I'm excited to spend some time with you this evening sharing some of the amazing new programs that we've put together for next summer. You won't see some of these programs online yet because you're getting a little bit of a sneak peek tonight on this webinar. So if you have some questions, feel free to chat those in, but all of the programs will be online by tomorrow morning. Some are already online, and then some of the new ones that we're keeping a little bit more under wraps, you'll find those launched on the website tomorrow. Some of our global program experts are joining me on this webinar tonight to help answer any questions that you have. And you can just send those questions in by way of the Q&A function that you'll see on the Zoom options in your video conferencing window. Just type your question there and click send for them to answer during the presentation. You can even make it anonymous if you want, so we won't necessarily see who you are. You can just send your questions in. I am going to save some time at the end of tonight's call to answer more broad and general questions, but we've put together a lot of exciting programs for the summer of 2019, so I won't have time tonight to stop after each of those programs. Again, I will save some time at the end of the call to answer any questions that are unanswered, and I'm happy to stay on after the call if questions keep coming in. By the end of this webinar, I hope you have more information about the programs so you can make a decision and enroll and take advantage of some of our discounts. Some of our global program experts will be available afterwards by phone. If you have additional questions, they'd be happy to give you a call, walk you through some of the details of our new programs, or even help you enroll if you're ready to make a program decision. All right, before we get started, I want to quickly run through what we'll cover on this webinar. First, I want to introduce you to who we are as an organization and why we believe in the power of travel to transform students' lives. I'm going to walk you through some of the details around early enrollment. There's still time to take advantage of early enrollment discounts, and we'll take a little bit of time to talk to you about how you can take advantage of that opportunity. Next, I'll walk you through the 16 amazing new program experiences that we're introducing for the summer of 2019. And I'll close out this evening by taking some time to show you how to enroll on our website if you're interested in enrolling now, or so you'll be prepared to enroll in the future after you've thought about the program that you want for 2019 summer. And I'll also, again, like I had mentioned at the top of the call, I'll save some time to take additional questions. Any questions you have about any of our new programming, they are completely open to be answered tonight. Again, if you have questions during the presentation, please type those into the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, and one of our global program advisors will follow up to answer that question for you. Prior to joining Rustic Pathways, I was actually a classroom teacher. I joined Rustic because I had seen firsthand how powerful these travel experiences can be at pushing students to grow through their travel experiences and pushing students outside of their comfort zone. While I was a teacher, I was a program leader, so I saw this actually firsthand. I've also seen how formative these educational experiences are when students are able to see firsthand the cultural differences that they're exposed to through the travel experiences that we build. I've seen how powerful it is when they're exposed to global critical issues with a context of a local scale. At Rustic, we build our programs to push on students' mindsets, take advantage of the unique landscape that travel provides for education, and use our travel experiences to contribute in meaningful ways to the local communities that we partner with and that we build programs in. Check your email for early enrollment discounts, both for STAR alumni and for first-time travelers. The magical thing about these discounts is that our deadline to swap programs is quite late. It's March the 1st. So if you or your student want to travel this spring break or for summer, you can enroll before the deadline and lock that discount in. And you can change your mind at any time before March the 1st. Maybe you decide on one of the new programs we talk about tonight, You enroll, you'll lock in your discount. Maybe your dates change and you're no longer able to travel the third week of July. You have to travel the first week of June. Or maybe you change your mind about the type of program experience you want after talking to some of the friends that your friends that you're traveling with. You can always change that before March the 1st. That's not a problem. So let's dive into some of our new programs for the summer of 2019. This year, we're introducing 6 new Rustic Pathways programs across the globe. We're adding to our Critical Issues series of programs, and we're introducing our first ever Global Critical Issues Summit. Students can join one of 3 new experiences in the United States or join unique service adventures in Costa Rica, the Dominican Republic, Thailand, and Vietnam. Venture off the beaten path in Mongolia, explore Judaism in Morocco, and so many more exciting options for the summer of 2019. Like all of our historically amazing programs, these programs are designed to push students' thinking, ensure that they're safe at all times, and include a heavy dose of fun and relationship building with unique local communities. Whether you're a service buff or an adrenaline junkie or something in between, we have a perfect program that's going to fit you exactly for what you're looking for the summer of 2019. Before I dive into some of these program experiences, I want to talk a little bit about community service at Rustic Pathways because it's so core to the type of program experiences that we design, and it's a huge part of the experience on the ground. The vast majority of our programs involve some element of community service. In fact, last time I checked, it was about 80% of our programs have some community service element. And we do this really intentionally because we believe that engaging in community service while traveling abroad creates a stronger learning experience for students. Students are put in a place where they have a more meaningful engagement with the local communities they're traveling in. They develop a better understanding of the challenges faced by these communities. And through these service experiences, they build bonds across lines of difference by sharing common goals with these local community partners in a way that's really difficult without the intentional inclusion of service on the programs. Creating great community service experience is a core part of making our programs really meaningful. But there's a right way to do it, and there's definitely a wrong way to do it. I want to talk a little bit about why we think we're doing it right. We focus on 3 main components in the design of our community service to ensure that we're operating in sustainable partnership with our local communities. Number 1, we focus on embracing responsible travel best practices on all of our programs. Number 2, we ensure that we're thoughtfully designing community service projects in partnership with the local communities that they're serving. And third, we focus on continuing our impact through our nonprofit foundation after students have left those communities that they're doing service work in. We believe that through responsible travel and well-designed service initiatives, our students can gain a better understanding of both pressing social and environmental challenges at a global and local level, and help combat the challenges that come with being a traveler in local communities. We do this by identifying and designing long-term projects in partnerships with local communities. We want to be present in communities that are engaged with us, and that we have a reciprocal relationship in ensuring that we're contributing the needs that the community has to achieve the objectives that they've established. Second, we want to provide students with opportunities to engage in meaningful service that contributes towards the goals of the community, not service that simply exists to achieve service hours. Third, we work together to achieve community and student goals simultaneously. So we engage our community partners in the dialogue about what it means to push on students' learning through community service work. They're actually part of those conversations that happen around service on our programs. Fourth, we aggressively monitor and evaluate the process and our impact on local community partners. Process matters for ensuring good quality service partnerships, and outcomes matter to ensure that the contributions our students make are meaningful to those local communities. Lastly, we ensure that projects are sustainable and have a lasting impact. And we do this primarily through building relationships with local communities and local community-based organizations that are committed to operating sustainably in communities and themselves partnering with sustainable vendors. Last, we continue our impact in local communities through the work of the Rustic Pathways Foundation. The foundation is a nonprofit organization that was actually started because students returned from their programs inspired, and they wanted to stay involved with the communities that they visited with Rustic Pathways. Our foundation now focuses on raising funds to support ongoing projects in the communities we operate in and support local community capacity development. And that's an important part of our ongoing commitment to the communities that we operate in. So I bring that up first because many of the programs that we'll talk about tonight as we cover our new programs have a core element of community service, and it's really a special part of ensuring a great program experience. I'm going to introduce programs by region tonight, but before I start, I want to tell you a little bit about our mystery trip, because I can't put it in the region, otherwise it wouldn't be much of a mystery. This is our third year hosting this unique adventure after successful programs this past summer in Mongolia and the previous year in Myanmar. And we're bringing it back because we found this is an absolutely incredible way to get students into some amazing far-flung corners of the world and truly embrace the spirit of the unknown that comes with travel. And the way this works is we designed an incredibly out-of-the-box program experience that we've never offered before. This is not us repackaging another program that we've run before and calling it a mystery trip. It's brand new. It's built from the ground up and super exciting. But we don't tell you anything about it. We don't tell you where you're going. We don't tell you how you're going to get there. We don't tell you how you go from point A to point B. We don't even tell you where point B is when you're in point A. You'll show up at the airport on your departure day, and you'll get a ticket to kick off your unknown adventure. Throughout the trip, you don't really know what's planned for the next day, and this really allows students to savor what's happening in the moment, learn how to roll with the punches, and really experience the uniqueness that comes with the unknown. This program has been wildly popular. The mystery trip usually sells out within the first 2 weeks of us announcing new programs. In fact, last year I think it sold out within the first week. So if this is a program that you're particularly interested in, I would encourage you to sign up for it immediately, lock it in as soon as possible, because it likely will sell out. All right, let's first go to Southeast Asia and start in Thailand. I'm really excited to introduce our inaugural Critical Issues Summit. Several years ago, we introduced a series of programs that we called Critical Issues programs. And we call these Critical Issues programs because they dealt with global critical issues that we thought would be important for students to be exposed to. And the aim of these programs was to expose students to these global critical issues that their generation is going to have to tackle and solve, and do so in a way that highlights the local communities that are impacted by these critical issues and the human aspect of how the critical issues play out in real life. These programs have been extremely successful, but we wanted to take this concept a step further by providing that same exposure, but intentionally paired with programming that helps students develop a skill set to make real change on the issues that they're passionate about. This is an opportunity for students from over 20 countries from around the world to come together with global change makers to both experience real-world critical issues that play out in local communities and learn skills from experts on how to tackle these. The basic point is we want to expose students to the real issues that will be important for their generation to solve and start to give them the skills to solve those issues. Students who are passionate about making change, curious about skills required to solve big problems, and invested in creating a better global community are the perfect fit for our Critical Issues Summit. For students that are working towards a capstone project in high school, we're custom designing a lot of portions of our Critical Issues Summit to fit into the requirements of the capstone, because we realize how meaningful it could be to pair the learning that's happening in the classroom with a capstone project that could happen in the field. We'll focus on these 5 issues and the associated essential questions: globalization, access to education, the growing global refugee crisis, gender equality, and access to clean water. And our summit will focus on these 5 main critical issues in a way that gives students the ability to explore those critical issues, but also more broadly explore the issues that they're passionate about making change in and apply those skill sets during the second week. Students will spend the first week of the summit in a deep field immersion in one of 5 countries in Southeast Asia. They'll then all come together during the second week for skill building workshops, a design thinking course, and an innovation challenge paired with expert speakers on the issue in Thailand. So they'll be in the field in a variety of different places specific to the critical issue that's relevant to that place. And then they'll come back together as a global cohort, representation from over 20 countries around the world, local and international experts on these global critical issues, and representatives from the local community where the critical issue is played out, all together for a summit where we'll really be focusing on moving students towards action. We're calling the second week the Action Week, as the entire week is focused on giving students the skills and the place to think through how they're able to connect their values and their own internal skills and passions towards making change. That's why they'll participate in workshops on leveraging social media. They'll hear from speakers on how to pitch their concept. This entire portion of the summit is entirely focused on empowering students to make change. They'll close this week out with a really cool innovation challenge where students will participate in teams to pitch to a panel of experts on the unique solution that they've workshopped over the course of the 2 weeks. So they'll see the critical issue playing out in local communities at a global scale. They'll come together and build skill sets around how to make change while simultaneously workshopping their ideas for how to make change. And then they'll participate in an innovation challenge where they'll basically pitch their concept for change to an expert of panels. And that panel is comprised of folks from our foundation and experts working in social entrepreneurship. We're sponsoring a $10,000 innovation prize to support the work of the winning team, and more importantly, ongoing support from a social innovation incubator to help students take this idea from a pitch concept into an implemented practice in the field. We're super excited about what this program could mean for students who are interested in making change in these areas. And this is a first step in the direction of both exposing students to those critical issues and then also empowering them with the skills to make change. Be happy to answer any questions in detail about the content of the Critical Issues Summit, our speakers who will be featuring workshops, any of that at the end of the call tonight. Moving on to our next program in Thailand. This program works in partnership with 3 local community-based organizations doing habitat restoration and conservation work in marine environments and the tropical rainforests of southern Thailand. We've, for about a decade and a half now, run amazing marine conservation programs in the Dominican Republic and in Fiji. And the feedback from students has been overwhelmingly positive about the experience that they've had in those places and the learning that happened in partnerships with the local marine conservation organizations. We're expanding this same approach to Thailand, where we're also including habitat restoration work in some lush tropical rainforests in southern Thailand. I've spent a considerable amount of time in Thailand working with our local team over the past 10 years, and I can say without any hesitations, the scenery on this program is hands down some of the most incredible of any place that we operate globally. This program is a great fit for students interested in marine environments or animal or habitat conservation work. And it also connects really well to some of our other service-based programs running in Thailand. So students can travel for 2 or 3 weeks by extending their program within Thailand. Moving on to our next program in Southeast Asia. This program is called Southeast Asia by Backpac, and it puts the experience in the hands of the students. It's really designed to entirely show students the real world experience of being a backpacker and being an independent traveler. It teaches students how to travel, it teaches students how to engage on a local level, and it teaches students how to get off the beaten path. We introduced this program's concept in Peru about 2 years ago, and it's been really successful. We've had 2 cohorts of students do it, and the feedback has been overwhelmingly positive about their experience in that type of program. Students are traveling with our staff the entire program, but the students really take ownership of how they move between places, what they eat, how they buy things at local markets, and how they engage with the program experience overall. This is truly the best way to get off the beaten path in Southeast Asia and travel like a pro. It travels extensively in Thailand and also some incredible off the beaten path places in Myanmar where many tourists are not able to access. This program is a perfect fit for students who are looking to take more ownership over their travel experience and are also more mature travelers and have a bit more tolerance for the unknown. which is sort of implicit in travel. Students on this program should be ready and willing to become an active participant in the community of the program, because every person on the program is going to play a role in creating that program experience. Next is a great new program in Vietnam. If you've ever wanted to dive into the wonders of northern Vietnam, this is Rustic Pathways' opinion on the absolute best way to do it. This program starts in the hustle and bustle of Old Hanoi and is an action-packed travel experience all the way through the program, ending with beautiful cruise in Halong Bay. The program is different because in addition to all of the amazing cultural sites, we take students off the beaten path into some local unique communities to engage in service work. Students will get a great cultural experience on this program, seeing the sights in Hanoi, getting to sample the incredible cuisine of Vietnam, but also see some of the hidden natural beauties of Vietnam through exploring Halong Bay and a great hike through the mountainside in northern Vietnam. This program is a great fit for any student who is interested in traveling in Southeast Asia, especially if you're interested in Vietnam. But it's also a really great program to consider connecting to some of our other programs within Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia is increasingly connectable. It's very easy to end a program in Vietnam and start a program the next day in Thailand. And many students choose to pair two programs together within Southeast Asia because the cultures are so unique between each country. All right, moving on from Southeast Asia up to North Asia, we'll continue to talk about some of our new programming in Mongolia and China. And for the first time in 2019, we're actually going to have two programs in Mongolia. Mongolia is an incredible place. We've been running an amazing off-the-map program. It's a 3-week program that goes literally to the ends of the map in Mongolia, way out to far western Mongolia. And this year we're adding a new program in Mongolia, so we'll have two. And this program is called Reindeer Herders and the Gobi Sands of Mongolia. It aptly names the program experience really well. And this is, of all the programs that we offer globally in any of the countries where we're operating, this is truly a lifetime, once-in-a-lifetime experience. Part of what makes Rustic Pathways program so special is the interest that we pay to building really genuine and strong relationships with long-term partnerships in the places that we operate. The relationships that we have with local communities and local community-based organizations afford us the ability to create some incredibly unique experiences that are nearly impossible to get just as a normal traveler. And this is one of those experiences. This program starts with an epic journey north from the capital to a remote reindeer herding community near the border with Russia. Students will live deep in some of the few forests in Mongolia as they experience the Satan people who struggle to maintain their lifestyle in rapidly developing Mongolia. These people, they graze their reindeer throughout the very short summer months, and it requires them to move their reindeer to multiple camps. So part of the amazing experience on this journey is finding their reindeer camps during the summer since they move. And this unlocks the ability for students to see a lot of the natural beauty in the northern part of Mongolia. Mongolia is a country of extremes. I've been there 3 times. Each time I feel like I need to bring a different set of clothes to survive. And this program sort of highlights that. They spend the first half of the program in the north, near the border with Russia, and then they move south towards China and ride camels through the Gobi Desert. And this is a really great way to highlight the unique cultural aspects of Mongolia while also sort of diving into some of the unseen corners. Programs in Mongolia in general are for adventurous travelers. They're not for students who are not out for a serious adventure, and they're really a best fit for students who are comfortable being away from the comforts of home and have a pretty adventurous spirit about them. So this program is a perfect fit, just like our off-the-map program is as well. We're offering 2 new programs in China this summer. For the summer of 2019. And China Rising is our newest critical issues program. This program is all about exploring what a rapidly developing China will mean for the global world order, the regional environment, and the regional political influence. On this program, students will travel along the northern portion of the ancient Silk Road and visit some of the bustling cities in that northern portion of China. They'll go to Xi'an, they'll travel to Beijing. They'll also experience the opposite. They'll go to some rural villages in Guangzhou province and learn about how globalization is affecting both people in the urban context and also in the rural context. On this program, students will explore how globalization has impacted individual farmers, people who are contributing to the work of public service, and individuals who are moving from rural environments to urban environments. This program is really unique because we've designed it around the perspective of many of the students who are working with local partners in our local communities. So students, Rustic Pathway students who are traveling on this program will get an opportunity to explore this question of China rising through the lens of local Chinese students in these cities and in these rural locations. No program that deals with the role that China plays in a globalizing world is complete without a visit to the Great Wall. So students will end the program by seeing the Great Wall and developing a better understanding of the place that China has occupied through 2,000 years worth of history. Like all of our other global critical issues programs, these programs are a good fit for students who are interested in making change, curious about critical global issues, and open-minded, interested in using the program experience to learn more about the critical issue and understand how they can take that change back into their own lives at home. We've also created a new program for travelers ages 12 to 13 in China called Young Explorers Panda Conservation. And this is our same great panda conservation partnership. This program is a perfect fit for adventurous younger students who are interested in traveling in a completely new culture, but who are a little bit younger. I want to note though that we only allow students ages 12 through 13 on this program. Older students who are interested in our Panda Conservation program, there's another program that they're able to enroll in. And we created this program specifically for that age group. So a lot of the activities that pair with the conservation work that students are doing at the Panda Conservation Center are more appropriate for younger students. All right, now we're going to move over to the South Pacific for some of our new programs there. We've also added a new Young Explorers experience in Australia for students who are 12 and 13 years old. Over the past several years, we've seen a lot more interest from families of younger students who are interested in traveling outside of the United States. And each year we've created some new incredible Young Explorers experience. This year we're adding 2 additional, and one of those is in Australia. This is a classic Australian experience, but it's been custom designed by our Australian country director to be a perfect fit for those younger students. Like other Young Explorer programs, no students outside the ages of 12 and 13 are allowed in this program. So that ensures that the students are with a cohort that they feel comfortable and safe with, and that you can custom design the experience to be age specific. Many families have concerns about some of their younger students traveling on international flights for our Young Explorers programs, but remember, all of our programs involve fully chaperoned flights that leave the United States for programs around the world each week. All right, continuing on to new programs in Africa. I'm extremely excited about this program. We've been working with some partners on the ground for about 7 months to build the program concept, and we've seen a lot of excitement from some of our alumni that we've previewed the program to. So on this program, students will examine the Jewish identity in Morocco, once home to the largest Jewish diaspora in the Muslim world, dating back almost 2,000 years. And in that time, the rich artisanship and cuisine and architecture of the Jewish community has really melded and blended with Moroccan culture. And on this program, students are going to explore what that blending means for the Jewish identity in Morocco. Students will explore museums of Moroccan Jewish history in Casablanca. They'll explore holy Muslim sites in Morocco, including the Hassan Mosque. They'll engage in discussion with local Jewish and Muslim faith leaders on the relationship between the two religions, and they'll actually shadow a popular Jewish pilgrimage that happens in Morocco every year. All students are welcome on this program, including students who don't identify as Jewish. The program wasn't specifically designed around the specific Jewish practice, but rather it was designed to explore the Jewish Moroccan identity more broadly. And as a result, students will dive fully into many of the daily practices of Moroccans who practice Judaism to contextualize what that identity is about. But this program will explore concepts more broad than simply the particulars of the Jewish identity in Morocco. And we hope that students leave this program experience understanding how cultures blend to create really unique identities, almost micro-identities within communities. We also hope that students leave this program understanding the complexities of relationships between religions, especially relationships between religions in parts of the world where often the dialogue between the various groups or surrounding the issues is confrontational. And part of the program experience here will be taking away some of the confrontational dialogue around the program experience and allowing students to explore how they believe their own identities might play out in a similar context. All right, now to the Americas, where we have a number of new programs in the United States, Costa Rica, and the Dominican Republic this coming summer. Let's start with the Dominican Republic, where we have two new program experiences. First is a great program called Innovation in Action, and this program is all about putting a design thinking skill set to work in local communities. Students will have the opportunity to make positive impact on the world by joining this program designed for social entrepreneurs or budding social entrepreneurs. Students will participate in design thinking workshops that incorporate social design thinking methods, which is an empathetic process of trying to understand the needs of local communities and meld those with solutions that can be rapidly innovated to solve the challenge that the community is facing. They'll be able to blend the skills that they're building through these design thinking workshops with real life engagement with local communities. So students will get to interact with business owners and several community-based organizations to learn about their everyday challenges and how they can use these experiences to pair with their design thinking skill set to drive towards a solution. In addition to the skills that the students will learn on this program, it's also a really great way to dive into the culture of the Dominican Republic. So throughout the program, we've designed our relationships with local community organizations and communities that we visit to both build students' understanding of the needs of the community, the opportunities for design thinking, but also to experience the culture in an organic way as they're traveling. The next new program we have in the Dominican Republic for this coming year is a program called Service Off the Grid. And as the name suggests, the program is entirely off the grid. Cell phones don't even work at the site of our community partners where students are doing service. And we did this sort of intentionally. On this program, students will travel to the heart of the Dominican Republic and experience life as locals live it in this diverse Caribbean island. Students will spend the first 3 days working in these remote communities doing service projects, contributing to specifically infrastructure development projects and environmental initiatives. And then they'll wrap out the program by heading back down south to the beaches and to Santo Domingo to explore the colonial zone. We've specifically partnered with some of these communities because they're really focused on building sustainable development initiatives locally and organically. So for example, on this program in particular, the students are staying in community-based housing where the community has sponsored the construction of some bungalows, and the use of those bungalows then reinvests in the local communities. And you probably get a sense from the program name, these are communities that are in the interior of the country, difficult to access, don't always have access to the same types of development that people in the capital or around the coast would have. So students will be contributing towards developing those communities while investing in the community-based initiatives that the community is championing. So it's a really great opportunity. This is a perfect fit for students who are interested in doing really strong community-based service programs. It's also a great fit for any student who wants to get off their cell phone for a couple of days and be really present in the moment in the communities that they're serving. This is also a great program to connect to other programs in the Dominican Republic. We have some fantastic program experiences in the DR that span from environmental conservation to adventure-based programming. So if you pick one of those and you want another week of programming to attach to it, to get a slightly different feel, get in a different place in the Dominican Republic, or get into some really organic community service, this is a really great program to add on because it's only a 1 week program. Over to Costa Rica, where we're introducing one new program for 2019. And this program is called the Youth Empowerment Project. And on the program, students will work with one of our local community-based organizations that's dedicated to providing access to sustainable income to youth with mental disabilities through vocational skill development. So our partner designs real-world vocational skill development where students are able to learn the vocational skill and then practice the vocational skill. And they use this vocational skill to have sustainable income where these youth would typically not have access to a job market otherwise. And our students will be working with this partner to do some construction work at the vocational training center. Specifically, it's a farm. So students will get a chance to work alongside this organization to build the vocational training center farm. And this farm was donated to this nonprofit by the National Institute of Agrarian Development. So it's a partnership between our local CBO, community-based organization, and a national institute that's working to expand access to agriculture. After students are participating in the service program here, they'll get to explore the lush ecological diversity of Costa Rica with a hike through Castro Blanco National Park, which is incredibly beautiful in the shadow of RNL, and then get on a zip line and do a zip line race through the rainforest canopy. So it's a great opportunity for students to do some really meaningful service with a fantastic local community-based organization, and then also get to experience the culture and the beauty of Costa Rica. Just like the last program that we talked about in the Dominican Republic, Service Off the Grid, this is a great fit for students who are interested in connecting programs. So it's a 1 week program with 24 service hours. And like the Dominican Republic, in Costa Rica, we offer a wide range of different types of programs, from conservation work with sea turtles all the way to local service work directly in schools. Running youth development camps. So if students are interested in one of those experiences but want to add an additional week of service-based options, this is a really great program to consider as an add-on. All right, so tonight we'll finish up in the United States, where we have 3 new programs on offer. And for the first of these programs is a program that is a natural extension of a fantastic program in the United States that we've been running for over a decade. For the past 10 years, students on Rustic programs during the summer and across the rest of the year have been working on rebuilding projects in New Orleans following Hurricane Katrina. And this past year, when Hurricane Harvey devastated Houston, the St. Bernard Project, which is our local community-based partner in New Orleans, working to do rebuilding and reconstruction in their work there, they decided to expand their work into rebuilding efforts in Houston. And naturally, this was a perfect fit for us as well. To support the work that they're doing in Houston, we've introduced this new program that works to combine service in both Houston and New Orleans, doing reconstruction work following the 2 hurricanes, with an exploration of the human and social impact of these natural disasters. So this is a great way for students to both do the service work in the local communities, but also understand the context of why that service work matters and the challenges that come along with natural disasters like this. Along the way, students will get to experience many of the unique cultural treasures that Houston and New Orleans have to offer as well, and they'll do that in between service. Certainly, a program in New Orleans would not be a program without some of those incredible cultural treasures. In addition to the rebuilding program, we've built this next program, American Adrenaline, to be the quintessential outdoor adventure experience in America's backyard. This is the program that if I was going to take 2 weeks off of work, I would personally be pretty excited about going and doing. Students will spend 2 weeks traveling through some of America's most famed natural treasures in Utah and Arizona. They'll go on hikes in renowned national parks. They're going to raft through canyons, bike around golden sandstone arches, peer over the edge of the Grand Canyon, sleep under the stars, discover the Native American history in Arizona. And it really is the quintessential adventure program in the American Southwest. This is the perfect fit for any adrenaline junkie who's interested in seeing many of the natural treasures of the United States. It's a really great fit for students who are interested in getting out to the Southwest as well, because many of the focuses of this program, the outdoor adventure focuses, are some of the quintessential sites in the American Southwest. And our last new program is a program that we're calling Aloha Service. This is very much by popular demand. Over the past 10 years, we've had lots of students reaching out, asking us to offer service-based programming in Hawaii. And it's taken us a while to figure out how to do this right and do this in a way that's consistent with the type of experiences that we want to provide, which means developing relationships with local community-based organizations and ensuring that students have a genuinely local experience when they're traveling. But we finally found a way to do that, and by popular demand, we've designed a great Rustic Pathways experience for the summer of 2019 in Hawaii. And on this program, students are going to work alongside a couple of local organizations in their mission to safeguard Hawaii's biodiversity and provide access to education for local students. So this program focuses heavily on habitat maintenance, habitat restoration, education around habitat conservation, and then access to educational opportunities for local Hawaiians. After completing service, it's a 2-week program. So roughly the first half of the program focuses on service, and roughly the second half of the program is a little bit more cultural exploration. So after completing service, students are going to get a taste of what makes Hawaii such a paradise. They'll get to do surfing lessons, relax on white sand beaches, hike through lush forests. They'll get to hike up to the top of a volcano, a dormant volcano, and take in the stars. They'll learn about the unique history of Hawaii and Hawaii's native peoples, and then also get to explore Volcanoes National Park, so long as the volcanoes in Volcanoes National Park calm down a little bit by the summer of 2019. So this program is a perfect fit for students who are interested in local-based service. It's also a great fit for students who are interested in exploring some of the natural beauty of the Americas, and specifically the sort of tropical beauty of Hawaii. And it's also a really great fit for students who are both interested in service, but also want a little taste of adventure throughout. So I'd really encourage you to take a look at that program if that sounds like it's describing you. So those are our exciting new programs for 2019. I want to pause for a second, and I want to show you quickly how you can enroll in our programs, and just give you a quick walkthrough. All right, so I've got our Rustic Pathways website open here to one of our exciting new programs. There's a couple of ways that you can enroll. On the menu, you can always select the Enroll Now button, and that will take you directly to the application. And you click the Enroll Now here, and that will dive you directly into the application. We'll collect some information about you and get you enrolled in your program. The easier way, and the way that I prefer, is directly on the program page. You can see the dates the program is being offered. So this program in Morocco is being offered once during the summer of 2019. Many of our programs have multiple departures. So some of our programs have as many as 10 different departure dates. And you can select the enrollment by the departure date that best fits your availability. You can also see how full the session is. So this one's available, means there's still some spaces, and then as the program fills up, you'll be able to see that directly on the website. If you click Enroll here, it will take you directly into that application and grab the dates that you were interested in enrolling in from that previous page. All right, I ran through a ton of information tonight. And I know many of you have been asking questions of our global program advisors. I see those questions popping in. But before I close the webinar out, I wanted to see what else I can answer. Any questions that are out there that remain unanswered that I can surface for the whole group. You can just type those into the Q&A function, and I'll answer those now. Just pause for a second. I'm going to read through some of these questions that haven't been answered yet, and I'll share those with the group. All right, a really fantastic question came in about our Fiji program. So the question was, this person is interested in our marine service programs in Fiji, but a little bit gun shy about the accommodations. The accommodations on that program, a little bit more eco-lodge style. If you're interested in a marine service program and you're interested in slightly better accommodations, or I shouldn't say better, I should say slightly less rustic accommodations, my suggestion is take a look at the new marine service program in Thailand. Students on that program will be staying in a combination of guest houses and hotels. Be a little bit more like an experience you would have in a hotel traveling in the United States, as opposed to an eco lodge or an eco-based accommodation. All right, we have a great question from Kim, who is inquiring about our safety record. So Rustic Pathways has been around 3.5 decades. It's almost as old as I am. And over the course of the 3.5 decades, we've had a ton of students travel with us. This past year, we had over 10,000 students travel with us in the past year. And the question about how safe our programs are is, it's a little bit more nuanced. The question is really, what do we do to ensure the safety of students who are traveling with us? And we have a multi-tiered approach to this. The first piece that's critical and often overlooked most frequently is doing the important work of ensuring that we're creating program experiences that don't expose students to unsafe circumstances in the first place. So we have a comprehensive vendor vetting system where annually we're looking at the vendors that we partner with. We have a comprehensive program leader selection, interview, hiring, and training scheme where we're bringing the best talent in to ensure that they're providing the most safe experience for students. We don't outsource any of the operations of our program experience. So the team of people responsible for delivering programs in the remote corner of Mongolia all report up directly to me. I'm responsible for program delivery here at Rustic Pathways. So all of our country directors that are in country year round, it's a team of both Americans and local staff, all of our local and international staff, they all work for us. We don't use subcontractors. All of those things sort of combine to ensure that we have full scope over doing the things that are necessary to keep students safe. And we've been doing it a very long time with a really good safety record. The second is, the reality is traveling involves some degree of risk. Anytime I get in my car and I drive to the coffee shop to get a coffee, there's some degree of risk, albeit very small. The same exists with travel. And in addition to doing everything we can do to mitigate that risk, investing in the training teams, investing in the local teams, investing in good selection and hiring, investing in a robust safety team, investing in vendor vetting. The reality is you also need to proactively build competencies to manage through any incidents that might come up. So we have a full-time safety team of 5 people. That team manages critical incidents, and they work directly with our team of folks on the ground. Programs operating in remote locations are led by program leaders who have wilderness first responder certifications. All of our program leaders go through extensive safety and risk management training, and we work in real close partnership with International SOS, who provides us guidance on how to mitigate risk and also help support when we need to respond to incidences that happen in the field. So hopefully that gives you some sense of the things that we're doing as an organization to ensure that students are safe from the time they leave your house to travel to the time they come back in gushing about the great program experiences. Be more than happy to answer any other questions about safety that pop up or connect you directly with our Director of Safety and Risk Management. Okay, we've got a question from a participant. If there are any program leaders, or excuse me, if there are any programs that are built in partnership with university or colleges. So I would just ask one quick follow-up question, whether this is for a student who's interested in going to university or colleges or looking for a college and university experience. We do have some of those. We have some very specific programs designed for college students. You can see those on our website. Just click the menu and select college-based programs. These are both designed for a college audience, so the content is quite a bit deeper, but also we only allow college-bound students to attend these programs, so the cohort is a little bit more homogeneous. There are a couple of programs around the world where we're proactively partnering with colleges or universities. Some of our ecological conservation programs in Costa Rica, for example, partnering with the Organization for Tropical Studies, Earth University, a Peace University. And then we're also in the process of building some custom gap year programs that are accredited for a full year of college course accreditation. And you'd be able to learn more about that on our website in the coming weeks. All right, we've got a great question about service certificates. So the question was, in addition to service certificates, do students receive any kind of letter stating what they did or recommendations to be used in the college application? They do, in fact, receive both of those. So after the program runs, if students are full participants in the community service, they'll receive all of the service hours that we have posted on our program pages. And in addition to that community service certificate, we provide a letter to try to provide some context to both the students and families and potentially organizations that they're providing that service certificate to around the types of work that the students engaged in on their program. The reality is many academic institutions are looking for demonstrated service hours. It's part of IB curriculum. It's a big part of CAS and IB curriculum. Many independent schools require service hours. That's not why we do service hours. That's certainly an important part of the experience, and colleges and universities and high schools are looking for that because they recognize the value in the service hours. The real reason we do service is because we think it makes for really meaningful program experiences. So pursuant to that, the letter that we provide students after they've traveled really tries to flesh out the meaning of the work that they did and the impact that work had on local communities. In addition to that, we follow up with our alumni on the progress of the community projects that they were working on. Oftentimes, students are traveling over the course of the summer. If they travel early in the summer, they may lay the foundation for a house that a later group puts the walls on, that a later group finishes. So we share updates on those service projects after the close of the project and the close of the season, so you understand sort of the completion of the work that you were engaged in. Great question. Okay, we had a question about payments. The question is, are all payments due upon enrollment? No, you're not required to pay in full upon enrollment. You have the option of making payments on the program, so you do not need to pay in full. Okay, so we have a question about scholarships. I want to talk a little bit about our commitment to scholarshiping. We feel really strongly that it's important to make our program experiences accessible to a wide audience of students. The reality is international travel is expensive, and creating that bridge for accessibility, there's a variety of solutions in that space. And one of them is us as an organization providing access to a robust set of scholarships. Scholarships are available in a couple of different capacities. We're providing scholarshiping for our Critical Issues Summit. We're going to give away 15 scholarships that are full and complete scholarships, the ground experience, the airfare, spending money, everything, to students who have a demonstrated history of being change agents in their local communities. We've been doing a by invitation only program for the past couple of years where we built a really powerful, compelling concept. And we said, if you are a student who's passionate about making change, and you've demonstrated that passion, we want you to apply for this program, and we want you as part of that program experience. And we fully fund the entire thing. We're doing that for our Critical Issues Summit this year. In addition to all of those full scholarships, we're gonna make partial scholarships available on a need basis for all attendees of the Critical Issues Summit. We do provide our scholarshiping to students who are new travelers. So if a student's returning for a second year, we funnel our scholarshiping not towards returning students, but towards new students in an effort to spread our impact as broadly as possible. In addition to those scholarship options, we also have some service-based scholarship options that students can apply for. And there's typically lag time between the application period and when we make a decision on advancing scholarships, but students will know if they've been offered a scholarship by the late winter. Great. Any other questions out there that I can answer? Okay, we have one last question. I'll take this as sort of the final question for the evening about traveling without a friend or a sibling. And this is a great one. We have, over the course of the calendar year, about 10,000 students that travel with us during the summer. We have quite a few who travel, and the vast majority actually travel without a friend or a sibling traveling with them. So I would say it would be the minority that students are traveling during the summer with friends that they either know from school or siblings or relatives. There are certainly students that travel with those friends and siblings, and we work with families to ensure that that experience is meaningful, and we accommodate reasonable accommodation requests and travel requests for siblings. But the overwhelming majority of our students travel without knowing anyone. And to be totally honest, my personal opinion is it's the best way to travel. By traveling alone, it's it's uncomfortable and awkward for the first 2 or 3 hours when you meet the group. There's no denying that. But the benefits that come from building relationships outside of the sort of safety net of knowing someone you're traveling with are really powerful. We see students who travel together with friends often using that as a subtle excuse to not engage with the group because they're comfortable with their friends or with their siblings. So by traveling alone, it sort of pushes you out of your comfort zone, and students end up leaving the first experience having friends for life. I am in touch with many of our alumni who are going to university with students who they met on their 2-week Rustic Pathway Service program. So these relationships end up being really profound and meaningful. And our program leaders are really skilled at ensuring that students feel comfortable, even in that awkward sort of orientation first couple of hours of the program. All right. Thank you all for joining this evening. I hope we've provided you with some good information about the programs that we're going to offer in 2019.